All right, guys, welcome to the AI Clone Creator Workshop. This is simply just going to be a very quick run through of how you can use Fal AI to create a clone of yourself, very realistic clones that you can then use to create YouTube thumbnails, social media posts, things of that nature. So I'm just going to run you through the entire process end to end of how exactly I do this. And if you want to dig deeper, let me know if you have any questions. I'll help you out with whatever you need, but let's just jump right in. So I want you guys to follow along with me as I go through the process. I'm going to walk you through everything step by step. But first, let's go over the prerequisites. Then we're going to cover creating your LoRa, which is your clone. And then third, we're going to talk about creating good prompts, because you can create your clone, but if you don't know how to use it and if you don't know how to create prompts, everything is going to look like garbage. So I want to make sure you know exactly how to create a good prompt and have a tool for you to use in order to create those prompts and literally mirror any type of image you see on the internet and create a clone out of that. And then last is creating your AI thumbnail and then editing it with Canva if you want to make any changes to it. So let's just jump right in. Now, the prerequisites for this are you need at least 50 to 100 high quality pictures of yourself. If you want to create full body pictures, you need full body images that you can drop in at least maybe like 15 to 20. If not, they can just be portraits, doesn't really matter. But you need at least 50 to 100 if you want an accurate clone of yourself. The second thing we're going to do is create a GitHub account. That's totally free, 100%. And then you also need a ChatGPT account. You don't need to pay for the paid version, but I would highly recommend it if you don't have it already, just because I use this every single day. Doesn't matter what work I'm doing. ChatGPT is a major asset. So if you don't have an account, please create one. And then Canva, you'll need an account if you want to use the pro features for that. If not, you can use the free version. But those are the things that you need. I will leave a link for GitHub so you can create an account there, and I'll also leave the links in the description for ChatGPT and Canva as well. But go ahead and pause the video and create those accounts if you don't have them already before we move on to the next step. Now, just pause it, and I'm gonna move forward and then hop right back in when you have your accounts created. So starting off, let's talk about actually creating your account. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go to fal AI. Again, link is going to be in the description for this. Once you have an account, the first thing that you need to do is fund your account. So you're going to click on this billing tab here, and you're going to add whatever amount of money you want. For me, I would say a minimum of $25 is best. Now, the largest amount of money is going to be spent right now just to create your clone. But after that, I mean, I've created over 100 images just today alone, and it may have cost me like $1 or two, maybe $3 max. So like you can run this over and over and over again, and it costs less than 1 cent per image. So with that being said, it cost me about $16 to actually create my clone. But after that, when you're creating images, it's very, very cheap. So this isn't going to cost you a lot of money moving forward. It's just the initial setup. So don't worry about that. Once you've added the funds, you should see them in your account over here, and then we're ready to get started. So the first thing you want to do is click on the Explore tab here. You're going to scroll down all the way to this girl with the blonde hair where it says Flux LoRa Portrait Trainer. You're going to click on that. And this is where you're going to upload all of the images of yourself. Now, for me personally, when I did this, I had to do them like 5 to 10 at a time. Otherwise, it wouldn't take all the photos. So if it's not working for you, try to just add them like 5 or 10 at a time until you get all the photos uploaded. But again, just make sure if you want a really high quality clone of yourself, you use really high quality pictures. Now, the second thing you want to do is set your trigger phase. Now, I just use my initials for this just because I think it's the easiest thing. So I just put like JTIF. You can use whatever you want, but it just needs to be something that you can remember, because when you're prompting the AI to create an image for you, you're going to reference this trigger phase so it knows this is the clone that you want to use. After you've done all of that, you're going to click on the More button here, and you're going to enter your steps. Don't change anything else on this page. The only thing you're going to do is enter your steps. Now, if you're uploading 50 photos or less, then you're going to want to use 3,000 steps. If you're uploading let's say 50 to 100, anything around that range, then you want to use 7,000 steps. Now, this is what's essentially just going to create the highest quality clone for you. And once you've done that, then you're going to click on start, and that's going to start creating your clone based on the images that you upload. Now, it's probably going to take you around 10 to 15 minutes, maybe even 20. It took me a really long time. So just go ahead and click that and let it run. Once it's completed, it's actually going to say complete down at the bottom. It's going to look just like this. Once it's completed, then we'll go to the next step. So I'm just going to continue forward. Go ahead and pause the video again. And then once it's done, you'll want to step onto this next phase. You're going to click Run Interface. Now, the best way that I've been able to create prompts for this is by using a GPT to create a solid description of whatever image it is you're trying to emulate. So here is the GPT that I'm going to use. Again, this will also be in the description. So it's going to automatically open up this GPT for you to use inside of ChatGPT. And what you're going to do is click on this prompt. I have some images I want to describe. So this is what's going to create the prompt for you. Now, remember we talked about the trigger phase. This is where you're going to enter that trigger word. So mine is JTIFF. So I'm going to put that there. Now that it knows what the trigger word is, now I'm going to upload an image that I want to mirror. And this is just a random thumbnail that I found on YouTube, but we're just going to use it. But we're going to use this as an example to recreate. So what it's going to do is describe this image. Let it run. It's going to fill all of this out. And then all you're going to do is take this, drop it into the prompt field, and then you're going to go down here to image size. And this is only for people that want to create a thumbnail. But for whatever reason, it doesn't let you click on custom first. So I just click on landscape and then click on custom, and then it'll let you enter the information here. So the size of a YouTube thumbnail is 1280 by 720. So we're going to add that there. And you want to keep the scale at 1. If you extend this out even further, it's typically just going to give you some crazy output, like a super cartoony looking vibe. And if that's what you're going for, cool. But if not, I would just keep it at 1 or 1.5 max and leave it there. The other thing you can do is generate multiple images here. So if you change this number, you can generate more than just this. You can generate like 2, 3, 4, 5 images if you want. I just use one as a testing phase. And then the second thing we want to talk about is the seed. So what I like to do is click on this so it generates a seed number. And what you can do is save the seed numbers when you find an image that you really like or you feel like looks, really closely to what you want the image to look like. And I would recommend just keeping and storing the seed because you can reference that later at other times when you want to recreate something. So I would just definitely keep this like in Notion or wherever so that you can reference it later on. But let's go ahead and generate this and see what it comes up with. All right, so this is very, very close to the image we started with originally. Let's open this back up really quick. So if you can see, I mean, these are very, very close, very similar. Obviously the text is messed up, so we can make a tweak there, but like this is very, very good in my opinion. So if you want to create any modifications, right? Like to me, this looks very realistic, very humanistic. But let's say you wanted to modify this in Canva and clean this up. So let's take this over to Canva. And we will go, actually, here's a thumbnail I was already working on. So we'll just hijack this one for now. Add page. So let's go ahead and upload this. So a couple things that I do in Canva are, one, I will change the texture of my skin if I don't feel like it looks realistic. So for this example, I mean it's pretty realistic as is. I would just say we need to fix the text obviously. So let's go here and then use magic eraser. And what I do is just use the click option because it's easier for stuff that's kind of big like this. And then select it. And then erase. And then of course you would just add, you know, word in the middle here. I'm not going to actually do it, but you get the gist, right? So the other thing you can do is if the skin doesn't look, high quality enough, or if it looks a little bit fake, it looks a little cartoony, what you can do is add texture to the face by searching on grain texture. And then you can take this, overlay it over your face, and then you can, of course, tweak the colors. But then you change the transparency so that you can't really see it. And that way it changes the texture of the skin and looks a lot more real. So take that off. You can't really tell that the overlay is there, but you can see the skin is a little bit more textured now and it looks more realistic. Another thing you can do is just change the sharpness of the image. So like if you download it on your iPhone and then go to images and then go to edit the image, you'll see like color correction options and other stuff. And if you change the sharpness, it also textures the skin a little bit more, so it makes it look more realistic. But let's go back to Fal AI real quick so you can see one more thing. Now, let's say I didn't like this image and I wanted to try again, or I wanted to create another one. Let's say I just didn't like the look of it. You would click this to randomize the seed again, and then just click run again. And by the way, as I mentioned price earlier, it's 0.035 per megapixel. So for $1, you can run this 29 times. So it's very, very affordable. And as you can see, the text has been corrected. Not sure that I like this image better, but it's a pretty good image. And again, just by changing the seed, you can get a very different look or correct any issues that may have been seen in the previous one. So if you get images that just don't look right or they just look really crazy, just run it again after you change the seed and you'll get a better output. All right, hopefully this helps. Again, let me know if you have any questions. All the links you need will be in the description of this video. And hopefully this helps you out in your workflow.